This video provides guidance on setting and operating your Edan Vital Signs monitor for spot checks. After powering the monitor, press the menu key to enter the system setup. So we want to use the up and down arrow keys to highlight the system setup setting or tab and press the confirmation checkmark key. Next, identify the work mode setting and make sure it's set to, there's two options, spot and MONI for monitor. Make sure it's set to spot. If it's set to monitor, the system is constantly trying to sample SpO2. So if the sensor is not placed on the finger of the patient, it's going to trigger an alarm. In spot mode, because the monitor is set to understand or to operate in such a way that it's going quickly from one patient to the other one, if the SpO2 sensor is not connected to the patient, it's not going to trigger any notification. The other setting of interest is the SpHy volume. This is how you can adjust the intensity of the SpO2 pitch tone. We have medium, low, and high, and off. So we'll set it to low for the illustration of this video. Okay, next we press and select and exit to exit the system setup. Now we want to navigate to the NIVP setup. Within the NIVP setup, if the interval setting is set to manual, the machine is only going to take a reading if you press or after you press the NIVP key. Otherwise, you can change the interval to any specific cycle. So for example, if you set it to 2 minutes, the machine is going to take a reading every 2 minutes automatically. But again, if it's set to manual, the system only takes a reading when you manually press the NIVP key. The inflation mode, we want to set it to auto to avoid missing any readings from patients with high blood pressure. Okay, now we can exit the NIVP setup. Next, we navigate to the alarm setup. In the alarm setup, we can set our upper and lower limits for each specific parameter. So the first 3 rows of settings are for the NIVP. Next we have the SpO2, and finally the temperature. If the first option is called the switch option. Right now it's set to on, which means that the upper and lower limits are active. If we set the switch for any specific parameter to off, the system is not going to trigger a reading, an alarm caused by a reading that falls outside of the upper and lower range. So for example, if we get an NIVP reading that's 170/100, even though it's outside of the range, it's not going to trigger or notify because we have the alarm set to off. So for the illustration of this feature, we'll set it to off. Okay, now we can exit the system menu. So if you concentrate on the NIVP section of the screen, there's going to be an alarm icon with an X over it, and that's to notify the operator that there's no active alarm monitoring for this parameter. Now that we have the monitor configured, let's review operation. The keypad provides all the essential functions, starting with the power key, the alarm to mute any alarm activity, the NIVP key, press it to take an NIVP reading or press it again to stop a current reading. And finally, if you press this key, you can toggle between different information displays. So there's 2 options. One, you have the real-time waveform, where if you press on it, you'll get the numerical information review. And if you want to switch from a patient type to another, you would press this key. So this is your patient type icon and designation. So right now it's set to adult. If you press on it, it'll go to pediatric. Press on it again, it's set at neonatal, and then we go back to adult. Now, to actually operate the monitor and take readings, it's a very simple process. Because we now have the monitor all configured, this is a one-time process, and if you turn off the monitor, turn it back on, you're not going to lose any of your settings. So to take an SpO2 reading, simply have your SpO2 sensor connected to the system. Place the sensor on your patient, and automatically the system is going to give you a reading. And because we have the monitor set to spot, if I remove the sensor, there's not going to be an alarm being triggered. To take an NIVP reading, have the tube connected to the monitor, have the cuff connected to the tube, place the cuff on the arm of the patient, and simply press the NIVP key to take a reading. So right now I'll press on it again to terminate the reading. And to take a temperature reading, it's very simple. Remove the sensor from the chamber, place a cover on the sensor, and after you hear the beeping sound, that's the confirmation that the warm-up period is complete. So now take the sensor and place it on the patient's mouth as guided by the user manual. And again, the system is very simple. Once we place the temperature probe back on the chamber, it'll reset by itself. So it's that simple. Place the sensor on your patient to get an SpO2 reading. Place the cuff on your patient and then press the NIVP key to get a reading, and you get all the information automatically in the system. If there's any questions, please call the Edan tech support number. Thank you.